It's not sadness. Not exactly. It's not despair. Not quite. It's that hollow feeling, the quiet ache that spreads across your chest in the silence of your own thoughts, the vague hunger that no food, no friend, no scroll can satisfy. You say you're depressed, but maybe you're not. Maybe you're just lost. Nietzsche would not ask you how you feel. He would ask you where you're going, because he understood something most of us forget. Emptiness is not a feeling. It is a symptom, not of brokenness, but of aimlessness. When the will to power has nowhere to go, it turns inward. When the soul has no mission, it collapses. When your days are stripped of direction, your spirit goes numb. This is not pathology. This is philosophy. You don't need more pleasure. You need purpose. And that purpose won't be found. It must be forged. The difference between suffering and stagnation. Suffering is sharp. It's loud. It demands attention, but emptiness, it whispers. It floats beneath the surface of your routines like fog, subtle, steady, suffocating. Nietzsche didn't fear suffering. He feared numbness, because pain means you're still alive, still responding, still resisting. But stagnation is death disguised as calm. And most people don't even notice it because it doesn't scream. It just lingers. Quiet mornings with no fire, late nights with no ache, days that blur into weeks until the calendar feels like a tomb. This isn't depression. This is spiritual drift, and the soul can only drift so long before it begins to dissolve. Why your soul craves direction, not distraction. You keep distracting yourself. Another series, another night out, another scroll through nothing, another attempt to feel something, anything. But it never works, because what your soul craves isn't stimulation, it's orientation. Nietzsche believed that man is not fulfilled by pleasure, but by direction, by having something to move toward, something worth suffering for. Without that, life becomes unbearable, not because it's painful, but because it's pointless. The emptiness you feel isn't a flaw, it's a flare, a signal from the depths of your being screaming, there is more, go find it. Not more comfort, more meaning. And that meaning doesn't arrive, it is built. One direction, one decision, one daring step at a time. The quiet agony of untapped potential. You feel empty not because there is nothing inside you, but because there is too much, and it's not being used. Your ideas rot in notebooks. Your strength is spent on surviving, not building. Your voice echoes only in your head. That unused power turns sour. It begins to feel like failure, not the kind others can see, but the kind you feel alone at midnight. Nietzsche saw this in every wasted genius, every quiet dreamer, the agony of untapped potential. He called us to become what we are, not through fantasy, but through force. You're not exhausted from doing too much. You're exhausted from not doing what you're meant to. And until you direct your energy towards something greater than yourself, you will keep mistaking potential for pain, emptiness as a signal, not a sentence. You think this void inside you is a sign of something broken. But what if it's just a sign of something missing, not chemically, existentially? Nietzsche would tell you, the emptiness is not here to destroy you. It is here to summon you, to shake you from your slumber, to push you toward the edge of your numb life and whisper, there is more, but you must build it. Emptiness is not a sentence. It is an invitation to stop floating, to stop numbing, to stop waiting, and to start walking, even if you don't know where it leads yet, because direction is not found in maps. It is found in movement, and the only cure for existential emptiness is existential momentum, the death of God and the birth of the void. Nietzsche's most famous proclamation wasn't triumph, it was a warning. God is dead. We have killed him. But he didn't mean a deity, he meant meaning itself. In the modern age, we replaced sacred purpose with productivity, eternal truth with trending opinions, soul with image. And now we drift. Because without a God, a guiding myth, or a transcendent why, we are left with a terrible freedom, the freedom to mean nothing. Nietzsche foresaw it. He saw what would happen when values collapse, when tradition dies and nothing takes its place. We get what we have now, a generation haunted not by pain, but by purposelessness. Not because life is cruel, but because it's empty, and emptiness unchecked, becomes unbearable. How modern life kills purpose. Purpose isn't just lost. It's killed by repetition, by comfort, by culture. The systems you live in are not designed to awaken you. They are designed to distract you. School doesn't ask, "Who are you?" It asks, "Can you follow?" Work doesn't ask, "What matters to you?" It asks, "Are you efficient?" Social media doesn't ask, "What truth burns in your chest?" It asks, "Are you popular?" And so your soul, wild, unique, sacred, gets buried beneath performance. Nietzsche called this the age of the last man, the comfortable, small, safety-obsessed being who no longer strives for anything great. This last man no longer believes in purpose. He believes in avoiding discomfort. And that, Nietzsche said, is the slow death of the human spirit. Numbness as the new normal. You think something's wrong with you because you feel numb, but look around. It's normal now. We don't cry. We scroll, we don't rage, we cope, we don't burn, we binge. Numbness has become the default, not because we're weak, but because we're disconnected. Disconnected from soul, from struggle, from direction. Nietzsche feared this more than madness, this slow sedation of the human will, because a numb man is not dangerous. He's docile, and docility is the death of greatness. You are not meant to be manageable. You are meant to ignite, but to do that you must reclaim your fire, even if it hurts. The crisis of inner silence. There is a silence inside you, but not the peaceful kind. It's the silence of absence, of nothing pulling you forward, of waking up and wondering, why am I even doing this? Nietzsche called it nihilism, the realization that without direction all things lose their value. The scary part, he knew it wasn't temporary. It was a phase we must pass through, not avoid, because on the other side of that silence is something sacred, not inherited meaning, not prefabricated purpose, but self-forged direction, the kind that rises from your own blood, breath, and boldness. The silence is not here to break you, it's here to purify you, to strip away the false so only the essential remains. And from that essential self, you can begin to build. You don't need healing. You need a mission. You've been told you need healing, that your emptiness is a wound, that you must rest, retreat, repair. But what if it's not about healing? What if you need something else entirely, a mission? Nietzsche didn't believe suffering made you broken. He believed it made you ripe, not for therapy, but for transcendence. The problem isn't that you're too hurt. It's that your pain has nowhere to go. You're not a patient. You're a builder without blueprints, a warrior with no war, a soul with fire and no target. You keep asking, how do I fix this? Ask instead, what do I build with it? Because once you have direction, the pain becomes fuel, not proof of damage. How dopamine hijacks your drive. Every scroll, every like, every hit of novelty, it numbs the hunger, but never feeds it. Your brain has been hijacked by reward systems that mimic direction without giving you any. It feels like progress. It feels like connection. It feels like life, but it's not. Nietzsche would call this a trick of the herd machine, a system designed to keep you addicted, distracted, and docile. The danger isn't that you're empty. The danger is that you've been conditioned to numb the emptiness instead of listening to it. And every time you reach for the cheap high instead of the hard path, your will gets weaker. You don't need more dopamine. You need drive, and drive only returns when you unplug from sedation and plug into purpose. The sabotage of short-term comfort. Comfort is not neutral, it's strategic. It seduces you with warmth while it robs you of becoming. Nietzsche warned of this, how the modern soul would sell its destiny for convenience. We tell ourselves, just one more break, just one more escape. But every time you choose ease over effort, you weaken your direction. Short-term comfort sabotages long-term meaning. Not because you're lazy, but because you're afraid. Afraid to start, afraid to fail, afraid to want something badly enough to suffer for it. But you must suffer. Not blindly, not needlessly, but on purpose. And the pain born from vision is holy. Creating instead of coping, you were born to create. Not just art, but direction. But most days, you cope, you manage, you tolerate, you get through. Nietzsche would rage at this, because the highest act of the human spirit is not survival, it is creation. To take your circumstances, your pain, your raw hunger, and shape something from it. Coping is circular. It keeps you where you are. Creating is linear. It pulls you forward. You want the emptiness to end? Then make something, a plan, a system, a sentence, a space, a self, because every act of creation is a vote against numbness, and eventually those votes become a life. The power of self-authorship. No map, no mentor, no divine manual. Nietzsche didn't offer steps. He offered a hammer to destroy the false gods, the pre-written scripts, the borrowed identities, and once they fall, you are left with blank space. Terrifying. Free. Now you must write yourself, not based on who you've been, not based on what they expect, but based on the raw truth that burns when you stop performing and ask, what must I become? Direction isn't found. It's forged. It's built from inner revolt and radical authorship. You do not need to discover your path. You need to create it, step by uncertain step. And with each act of authorship, the emptiness recedes. Small acts as sacred anchors. You want a grand purpose, a revelation, a lightning bolt of clarity. But Nietzsche would laugh and hand you a broom, a journal, a walk in the cold. Direction isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it starts with the sacred repetition of showing up, making your bed with intention, writing one true sentence, doing the hard thing again tomorrow. These are not chores. They are anchors. Small rebellions against drift. Nietzsche understood this, that the path is not paved by dreams, but by discipline. Tiny, unglamorous, defiant acts, repeated until they form momentum. And momentum is what saves you when inspiration disappears, because the soul doesn't need clarity, it needs movement. Discipline as spiritual practice. Discipline isn't punishment, it's prayer. It's how you tell the universe, I may not know what I'm becoming, but I am becoming. Nietzsche rejected passive spirituality. He saw salvation not as obedience, but as mastery of the self. Not in the sense of domination, but directional will. To wake, to act, to repeat. Not because you're certain, but because you are committed. Discipline becomes sacred when it's driven by vision, not vanity. You're not doing it to prove something, you're doing it to summon something. The self you're meant to meet on the other side of effort. And with each act of will, your emptiness turns into structure, a spine, a way. How vision replaces emptiness. Vision is not fantasy. It is architecture for the soul. Without it, you wander. With it, you burn. Nietzsche didn't hand you visions. He dared you to create your own, forged from your deepest values, fiercest instincts, and clearest rejections of the herd. What do you want to give? To build, to become? That vision, not fame, not safety, not comfort, is the only thing that can replace the void. Because once you glimpse the future you want to inhabit, the present stops feeling pointless. Every small act becomes a brick. Every setback becomes a test. Every empty moment becomes a summons. And that's how direction becomes salvation. Not because it ends your pain, but because it redeems it. Stop asking, what's wrong with me? You've asked it 1,000 times, in quiet moments, in dark rooms, in the hollow space between distraction and sleep. What's wrong with me? But Nietzsche would stop you, not to comfort, but to confront. There is nothing wrong with you. There is something missing from you, a direction fierce enough to summon your full self into the world. The emptiness is not a diagnosis. It is a misalignment. You are not unwell. You are unled. You don't need to be fixed. You need to be moved. Move towards something worthy of your pain, worthy of your love, worthy of your becoming. Start asking, what am I moving toward? That is the question now. Not, why do I feel this way? But where do I go from here? Nietzsche didn't give answers. He gave torches. He knew that direction doesn't come from outside. It erupts from within. When the question changes, stop asking how to feel better. Start asking what's worth feeling for, because feelings aren't enemies. They're indicators, and yours are telling you you are meant for more. Not more ease, not more applause, more meaning, more movement, more self. And only when you chase that, brutally, beautifully, brokenly, will the emptiness begin to dissolve, not all at once, but moment by moment, step by step, becoming the author of your days. The calendar will not save you. No job, no title, no ritual of optimization will give your life meaning. You must write it, not once, daily. Wake and choose. Who am I becoming? What am I building? What am I refusing to die without doing? Nietzsche believed in the eternal recurrence, the idea that this life, this moment, must be lived as if it were to return forever. So ask, if today repeats, will I be proud? If not, change something, anything. Because you are not just passing time, you are composing a legacy. Burn with purpose or be eaten by emptiness. This is not philosophy, this is fire. Your emptiness is not your enemy. It is your invitation to build, to burn, to become, but only if you choose it. Feed your fire, or fade in silence. Act with vision, or collapse into sedation. Create something real, or keep distracting yourself from the ache. The path is not clear, but it exists. The moment you begin to walk it, so go. Write the mission. Design the morning. Say the no, chase the yes, make the move. Let the world see you move with meaning. And if this message cracked you open, if the fire flickered even slightly, don't let it die here. Watch more, reflect more, dare more, because the truth is brutal and beautiful. You are not depressed. You are directionless, and direction is yours to build.